And it shifts the responsibility a little bit from your killer player who needs to perform a perfect trial also on your survivor shoulders, because now they need to support with body blocks and with great strategy. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in with Dan, Spitz, Kexo, and Nightlight on the survivor side for Invictus. On the Deadlock Saloon, Certify coming out on the killer side. We've seen Certify playing last week already, so one of the more common killers in the roster of Seraph here. And what's definitely important on this map and killer, Will, is the time of the first down.
Yeah, and you say that, and already we have our first hit. Dan, not going to be able to make it to the main building, does manage to get to the shack. Spitz does have the box in the meantime, and we do have Dan being put into that deep wound with that original pain add-on, that purple spike on the bottom. And this is not a safe part of the map to be running against Cenobite. You get hit by one chain, and you're not going to be able to make it anywhere else. These loops are short and really favoring the killer here. And Dan takes a hit, goes down as far to the edge of the map as possible. And we're gonna have to see, does that... The survivors don't have too much progress on all the generators. They are split up though, so that is one thing in their favor.
Yeah, good split up here. Always good to see that on the Deadlock Saloon. You need to take care of multiple 3-gens sometimes. Around the gallows area is one possible. Next to the houses section, main building, the windmill. So you really need your survivors in different locations. We see it right here, main building with the 2 houses generators. One of them also leading into the 3 generators that we have next to the windmill. Gallows area looking good for the survivors though. More of a safe spot here. But Certify already onto the next survivor, wants to profit from the early down onto Dan here. Good to see also that they are...
I think Dyer's internet might not be the best at the moment, so I'm going to be taking over here. We do have Certify using those chains to scout out the main building. Just kind of sitting up top, watching over that basement, camping from afar, but it does allow 2 generators to get completed in the meantime. And Dan just hanging out in the basement. Spitz back on this generator. Certify has left the area to go get some chase on against, I believe this is Nightlight at the edge map. We do have the box we saw all the way in the corner, but Certify is doing a very good job controlling this map. Knows where all the survivors are, and we do have what looks like it's going to be a trade. No, Kexo can't really make the risk and go for that save, so Dan does go into that second stage. In the box, the chain hunt, moments away from being activated if no one goes to grab the box, and Nightlight's at the water tower. I believe Spitz is still at the main building, and Kexo's getting chased. This could be the start of a snowball for Certify.
That could be indeed. I hope I'm back, and I hope it's working here.
Yes, you are.
58 days, ladies and gentlemen, until the better... 58 days until the better internet connection is finally possible here in this mountain region. Seems like Dan is going to chill on the hook for a little bit here, but it has been punished by the survivors. Certify might not even get the pain rest that is possible from Dan to come. Nice attempt there with the chains. Definitely knows that the survivors are over there. Good sometimes if you can interrupt them, putting a little bit of extra time onto the shoulders. 2/3 of a generator repaired over here. Spitz finishing another one in the main building. So Will, it's great if you can get an elimination. It's great when you play the 3v1 scenario, but you need to make sure that you have enough time after the elimination as a killer to get more stages in. And if this is a good chase here and the survivors crank the generators, I'm not sure if that calculation is going through.
I think it is, because currently Nightlight's working on that water tower gen. It's almost done. So Certify has a 3-gen here, and the Gallows gen has not been completed. That's not the safest of generators to complete. And Kexo goes down. So this is actually looking pretty good. You have a 3-gen, you have a 3v1. It looks like right now the deck is stacked in Seraph's favor.
We carry the survivor back here. No attempt on the basement this time, as we really want the pain rest to apply to these generators. Kexo is taking the 4th hook stage on 2 individual survivors at the moment. Would be good for Certify to catch the 2 other survivors throughout the trial as well, because in case you're new to DBDLeague, everyone, I make an example, 9 stages on 3 survivors is not as good as 9 stages on 4 survivors. So
to finish Dyer's point, because I think his internet is acting up once again, fresh hooks are important, not just for the pain resonance, but in our scoring system. Fresh hooks can be the deciding factor between a team winning a set or losing a set. And right now we have 2 survivors injured, the chain hunt starting up once again. Certify knows that both of these injured survivors are in the main building, does get the chain onto Spitz. This should be a down here in a moment, except we have the toilet pallet. Oh, but it's not enough. This should be another hook, but it does buy a lot of time. Certify is not in his 3-gen. Nightlight is just able to work freely on that last generator, and Certify is just being dragged to the opposite side of the map. This could be trouble for Certify. But it is going to be another down. Nightlight has to make a decision. Work on the gens or go for the save. And it looks like he is going to be going for the save. Kexo down on the ground. Certify needs to be aware that Nightlight is likely going for this save. Or just looking to stall. We do hear the heartbeat. Certify hasn't seen Nightlight. He has managed to be stealthy on this second floor. Oh, but he does... Nightlight does get spotted out. And this is going to be... the chase onto Nightlight. There are no second chance perks to get yourself up off the ground. Spitz is about to go second. And right now it's just about the 1v1. Can Nightlight lose Certify and manage to make a recovery? And it looks like that's going to be the case. Kexo is going to get picked up off the ground. Certify coming back to where the heal happened. And Nightlight just managing
hello,
to be
Williawesome.
so stealthy.
So I've been called in because Dyer's internet is being unfortunate. How about it? So I can't pretend that I'm being up to date on this game, but Dan is down, and it seems that Spitz is in a tough position here. Nightlight's getting the unhook as Kexo gets chased here, and he's going to be downed over on the other side of the map as well here. So we are looking, it's seeming like a 4K is likely. Would that be the reasonable assumption, seeing as what I've come into?
Yes, and there's also a 3-gen. You see it on your screen over consisting of the gallows and like that deep pocket gen all the way in the back. And Kexo is getting put on the pain resonance hook. It's not going to pop, but just for your information, this is the pain resonance hook. And I will say though, a very nice recovery from Invictus. Like Dyer and I talked about in the campfire chat, this is going to be a very survivor-sided matchup, very survivor-sided set of killers. It's going to come down to the skill of those survivors. Spitz does have the box, and
is he able
while we were talking, did get reset.
I think he's just about... Oh, no, not quite got the angle. You're going to have some curvature to those chains, unfortunately. So Spitz is going to end up finishing that one off. If I'm certified here, I'm looking at where my gens are. You have a hook in a very nice spot because, oh, yeah, there's actually a diabolical 3-gen to have. Goodness me.
Yeah, no, that's
right
what I'm trying to tell you. It is a nasty 3-gen. This is so unsafe for the survivors. You pretty much cannot touch gallows, and then there's this other gen in far back. You also probably can't really touch it. It's just... It's going to be a slow, painful, drawn-out death for the survivors of Invictus, especially as Kexo gets sacrificed to the entity. We haven't seen Nightlight in a while, so I'm not sure what he's up to.
Oh,
he managed to get back here.
I mean, you have to try something here if you're Invictus. You're on the back foot, but a team like this ain't going to give up, so they're splitting pressure. Spitz has nothing to work with in this corner. Nothing. Is going to take a hit and then make it into the houses, so I'm interested to see whether our killer decides to go back to the gens. Yeah, you are. So we're playing this very safe. I wonder are you going to go check on the other generators? So you're going to stick around here because Nightlight must be making some actually pretty decent progress on this corner gen as well. Are we able to scout it out and get the hit with the chain as well? So I have a feeling that a hit will be coming through onto Nightlight here. Like, you have a pallet here, but yeah, you get chained up. You are going to get injured as well. But now Spitz is over on the other side, and you know, this is risky because you are injured and there is not much distance, but it's being called out now. Like, okay, he's coming over to your gen. You need to get to these houses. You need to get them ASAP. You can't get hit by this chain. You are going to. It's going to apply the deep wound on account of that purple original pain nail add-on. But now, yeah, both survivors are injured. They are, like, cut in two by the killer, so they don't have an opportunity to reset here. Spitz is not able to do a gen because you're stuck on this. And also, you know what's always going to be on the back of your mind against a pinhead? Look at that box timer! The box is going to come out soon.
Yeah, that's going to be like the third time this match. And, you know, we talk about how they're split. Nightlight is in a really bad spot, drops the pallet preemptively. And Nightlight cannot afford it. There's the chain hunt. Spitz is going to be picking up the box, and Nightlight cannot afford to be caught out here. Spitz needs to be the one taking attention, because if Nightlight gets caught, that's a pain resonance, and that is going to set them back so far. But oh no, the chain hunt onto the onto the box.
Well, there is one thing that can be done clearly, and that is be really annoying.
Yeah, I guess
annoying,
there is.
Yeah.
But this could actually be enough time for Nightlights to finish that generator, and with Spitz out of the picture.
Not with a chain hunt on, I don't think.
But as the last survivor standing, there is no chain hunt. But...
Yes, but it's only just stopped now, right? I think Spitz,
and Hatch is going to spawn. Never mind.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay. How are these exit gates? Is there anything here? Yeah.
No, it's just as bad as the 3-gen.
Well. And it was right there, bro. Like you had nothing in this one, dude. Okay, right. I mean, you're gonna try chained up. Your hands are a little full now.
Oh, and the flashbang.
Hey, I got my killer blind points. Don't worry about it, King. Don't worry about it.
Now we get the Mori.
Yeah, this is a fun Mori. I'm a fan of this one. So yeah, 4K1. That we're going to get on Dead Dog. This is decent, to be honest. I want to have a look through some of the stats.
The Cenobite for Invictus against Zaphis, Sock My Socks, Jaw, and Acid on Seraph. And
I'm like, Sock My Socks. What a username, bro.
Yeah,
what is the verb to sock? Because like, surely we have verb sock and then noun socks.
Uh-oh. This is some of that, the box on Dead Dog's Saloon that you mentioned. There are a few... It's very consistent in terms of where the box is going to spawn, and there's a very consistent logic that can be applied. It's just really easy to do here, and already we are in chase, but the Bamboozle coming in. I think that was a perk on our last killer that we didn't get to see too much of. Zaphis now has the box, and oh my god, the chains! That impaling wire just causing non-stop chains to spawn.
Yeah, literally. It's insane. But finally, Zaphis is going to get on top of the box. That's going to be a small burden off of the survivors' minds. And credit to Jar making that really weak window, buying a little bit of time out. Even if it's 5 seconds, that can end up making all the difference. You do position yourself over towards Shaq. Your chase, fortunately, has been around the corrupted gen split. I mean, I say that, but it's actually a really strange corrupt split. In essence, it kind of, like, blocks off, like, 4 gens, in a sense. Even though 3 of them are physically blocked, that one in the middle of the split, there's, like, no way that you can work on that. So it's really, like, effectively neutered the ability of these survivors to work on these gens. Jar is having a decent showing in chase thus far. Is taking it far and far away. Yeah, the first gen going to be completed. Very good job here. The focus from Seraph is good. And Jar doing better and better. You do make this pallet, and you get the stun as well, which is great, because this isn't a spectacular pallet. The only real way you're making distance off that is a stun. And I think that was a smash hit too. Oh, boy, fella. Well, how about that for a first chase? Plus, you get main building as well.
Oh wait, no, that wasn't smash hit. We're all hallucinating. It's just a lot of distance. I feel like
she moved really fast.
Yeah, that seemed like a lot of distance. But this chase is going on ridiculously long. The first down in the last game was like 1 minute, 2 seconds, and this one is 226. That is ridiculous, and already 2 generators are done. If with a first chase, with a start like that, I have a hard time seeing how Seraph is going to lose this. But we do have Mathis once again getting the box, and
whoa!
That was
Careful.
a little weird.
A hit is a hit at the end of the day.
A hit is a hit, but that was a little bizarre. I don't think Mathis was expecting him to come from the pallet.
Yeah, clearly neither was Pedro. Pedro wasn't expecting to come from that pallet either. I think no one knew what was going on there. Zaf is doing a good job of avoiding these chains. I am of the mind that Jar has been unhooked. It did happen near here, so I'm hoping that they are focusing on resetting Jar here in the corner. Yeah, the 50-50 there. Not quite going in Zafis' favor here. So an opportunity to gain some momentum.
And another there's the pain res, but it's going to be another generator done, like any moment now. And we had Acid here working on this generator. The survivors of Seraph just have so much gen pressure across the map, and I'm having a hard time seeing how Pedro can come back from this right now.
Yeah, it's been a really strong start. Sometimes you can have like as good as like a mid-late game as you want, but the early game will set the foundation for the rest of it. Honestly, I'm thinking that Pedro tries to identify a 3-gen here and maybe play for a just a draw condition.
I don't think, based on the gens we have right now, I don't think there's a good 3-gen left on the map.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. There isn't a spectacular one, just a subpar one at best. You know, last time it was, you know, these 2 gens plus Gallows, but now Gallows is done. The only other one would be in kind of corner near the windmill. Ooh. Jar's been found out here, who still didn't get healed up, despite being released from the hook earlier. That's a decent break. It's going to catch the survivor as they're walking across, so they don't make as much distance. Chain as well means that this is definitely going to be a down. Very, very corner of the map, which is exactly what you want to be doing. Burning as much time as humanly possible. You should be buying time for this generator here to get completed. And yeah, now there just isn't a 3-gen split on this map anymore. It's gone. With this one going, that just breaks it completely. It was never there before, to be honest, but now any hope of it is dashed.
Yeah, if you're Pedro here, what do you do?
Oh yeah, well, yeah, because I can't just say play for the draw condition. You can't camp Jar here. I think you need to rely on survivors making mistakes, but that's a problem because when you're at the stage where you need the survivors to mess up for you to succeed, then things aren't in your favor. But it's not infallible. Even some of the best teams like Seraph and Invictus will make mistakes on occasion. They are not like DBD program robots, who would have thought. I think the moment that Jar is now off this hook, you need this tunnel out. This chase needs to be instant. Maybe Zafis and Sock My Socks are getting greedy. How about it? You find Jar there, you end up getting rid of the endurance as well, and you get them. Okay. Look,
we talked about needing mistakes. There's one right there.
You're up to Slim, but like it's something. It's something. Okay.
Well, Jar's dead. So
yeah.
And you have 2 survivors who are injured. We are working on this generator off in the back. Suddenly, I feel like the pendulum has swung firmly in the favor of Invictus right now, because Sock My Socks is now getting chased. There's no pallet here. There's this crappy window, and there's another down, and this is going to be a pain res.
But you need the pain res. You need it like instantly, right? Because both of these gens, they're split on them, and they're getting so much pressure. I think Acid is
no.
Acid not able to complete the gen in time. Still gonna bully it out though. Acid is healthy, so feels like confident to stick this. Zafis not quite the same, but Zafis's gen didn't get hit by the pain res, so that's going to be so progressed, and Acid is now looping the chains, which is unreasonable. Wait, but the chains actually buy enough time to stop that gen getting completed.
Yeah, they let the chain hunt go, and here we are. All the survivors are injured now, and this is firecrackers get used a little too early. Acid not quite able to make it to to the main building, is going to jump in the basement to try and force the hook away from all of the generators. Sock My Socks is going to be able to finish the box, and Pedro trying to get to, I imagine this is a pain res hook. I think Acid is the last unhooked survivor.
Not pain res, actually.
Not a pain res hook, and there's the gen being completed. But this is a survivor in a very poor spot. It's all up to Zaphis now. I imagine we're just going to see the drop. Yep.
Yeah, okay, we see the drop here. Zaphis gets this unhook. Zaphis has to heal from the deep wound. What's their plan? Because, like, that corner gen only
I think I know what their plan
is.
is.
Of progress.
Sock My Socks, looking at the looking at his perk build, he's the anti-slug survivor.
Okay. Okay, but then what's the plan as a whole?
I don't know, but that's the start of a plan. And
okay, right.
All you need is the start of a plan.
I have concepts of a plan, he says.
Listen, when the game moves this fast, plans form and fall apart in the blink of an eye, and sometimes all you need is the start of a plan.
Yeah, and you need it, and like I'm surprised that this last gen isn't gone. Sock My Socks gets picked up in the corner here. Pedro is going to be able to kick and regress this gen. This isn't like a 3-gen per se, but at least they're all on one side of the map, so it's not like the worst split that you have to get. You need one of these survivors down. You get a chain off, but I mean, that's just slowdown, right? I think what you're trying to do is land these deep wound chains so that you can buy time for these gens to just naturally regress. Because now Sock My Socks isn't able to stop a gen regressing, Acid isn't able to do the same, Zaphis is injured in a weird spot, and Pedro actually feels confident enough to get a quick down onto Acid, and yeah, you're going to be able to do it. You got nothing to work with here. Oh no, but Zaphis is back on the gen again! No! And it's doubled up with Sock My Socks. This gets completed here. It just does. Oh no. Tragic.
And there's the round 1 win for Seraph.
Oh my god. NA number 1, I guess.
I am suddenly doubting my prediction on the campfire chat.
Yeah.
And they're both on doors. Oh, and the chain doesn't have enough reach from Pedro. This is going to come to stages out the door, and that is, in terms of like the whole match, that is the start you needed if you are Seraph. Because I think we all agree that they are the underdogs in this situation. The Bamboozle coming in once again.
I mean, it's a big confidence boost for you, and you'll take that for sure. Coming in as the underdog, winning this matchup. Pedro, like, fought for it so hard, but it's as I said, it was the early game. The early game was, unfortunately, in DBDL Season X, we are looking for perfection. And Pedro's early game was not perfect. It's as simple as that. Everything else, it didn't really matter, even though he was doing a really good job of juggling all of the survivors and all of the gens and getting quick downs when they needed. It just wasn't enough, and they get their outs out of the door with the 5 generators completed. And there's Seraph taking your first set. How about that? This is the North American differential, I guess. That this is the freedom thing that they tell me so much about.
What?
Are you honk shoe or honk mimi?
I have no idea what either of those are.
Like, how do you snore?
Snoring!
Yeah, because we got Freddy in now, and so these survivors are gonna be snoring. That's just how it is. Zaphis already gets hit very early with a snare. Yeah,
you can see that jump in the power. You see that jump in the sleep timer. One more thing I want to touch up on real quick, because I don't think we mentioned it. If a healing interaction is performed on or by a sleeping survivor, Freddy can teleport to that. And we do have the Lithe coming through for Acid to get some distance over to this pallet here. And there's the Dream pallet coming down.
It's so goofy when you're a survivor and like you see the Dream pallet come out and you're just like, well, how about that then? So you're gonna have to do some kind of mental gymnastics as the survivors as well, you know. And these teams are good enough at communicating. Well, I say that, But quite uncharacteristically, I believe that's Kenshi and Jar who are actually pushed off of that generator by force. In a perfect world, you take your chases in a corrupted area, but as we could see, you didn't really have that luxury. It seems like you're going to get some aura reveal. I believe that's one of our add-ons, the aura reveal when you hit someone with a snare. A very powerful tool in chase. But there's all this bluster about, you know, the pressure that you're putting and the fact that you're splitting survives off the gens. You still haven't hit anyone. No one's on the floor yet. You need that immediately, desperately. I'm also surprised it's Nightlight picking up the Freddy here, because I would assume that generally Pedro would be playing the more M1-based killers, but I guess there's something in Nightlight's wheelhouse.
I think it might have something to do with Pedro right now. We did get some behind the scenes. Apparently, there's something going on IRL that's maybe affecting his ability to play right now. So yeah, we do have Nightlight coming in. Acid taking the first hit of the match. A generator has already been done. That's one hit for one generator. Nightlight really needs to step up the pace as we have another generator that's so close to being done. It looks like it's being doubled based off the HUD.
It's a very good slow and a hit
and there's the down.
Oh yeah, very strong. Now, if people are wondering why there's all these alarm clocks around the map, when you're asleep, you are able to use those alarm clocks to wake yourself up. There's several ways you can do so. You can wake up other survivors. If you get put on a hook, you wake up. You fail a skill check, you wake up. And if you use one of the alarm clocks around the map, you wake up and you gain a bit of immunity, like from falling asleep again. So it kind of extends that timer for you, effectively, right? Kenshi is just going to be staring menacingly at Nightlight before using the balanced landing that he no doubt has to make a little bit of distance, because, yeah, there's no other reason that you're standing there if you don't have balanced landing. 2 gens done from the side of Seraph right now. Nightlight only has the initial hook onto Acid, but I think even with all these reworks, fundamentally, Freddy's still an M1 killer at the end of the day, and is often going to struggle in some of these chases with just... It's not like the snares are a bad power, but they're almost like clown bottles, you know? They're okay, but they're not spectacular.
Yeah, and I agree with you there. We have a snare coming out onto Acid, and a bit of a mind game coming through. I'm not entirely sure what's causing the aura reading here, because I'm looking at the add-ons right now. Not quite. I can't quite figure it out.
I don't think the add-ons page has been updated because it's talking about starting with like 7 dream palettes.
That's
still.
true. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I tried to keep myself informed, and I was given false information.
Oh, that's a spectacular timing on the pain resonance. There's an opportunity for Nightlight to teleport back to that gen, but it's not going to be done. So Jar does end up getting that Shack gen delayed a little bit by the pain resonance, but is going to be able to complete it regardless. I think a challenge against playing against Freddy is just like how many, for lack of a better term, things you have to think about. Because, like, you have to think about managing your sleep, you have to think about getting to an alarm clock, waking up other survivors, which pallets are real pallets, which ones are dream pallets. You have to be thinking about those. Like on this jungle gym, there's 2 pallets, and it's like, what the hell is happening over here?
Yeah, there's a lot, and we see Nightlight just looking around frantically. This is... I think Freddy has been turned into a very high APM killer. For those of you new to esports, that's actions per minute. And we do have the 2-man save coming through. This should pretty much guarantee the save onto Acid, but no! Nightlight body blocks it correctly!
Oh, wow.
Nightlight was able to body block Zaphis off of the hook and is able to stop the save. This is good. Okay, it's just good. It's forced to be a 1-for-1. Another generator gets finished. Acid, literally moments from death. That well played from Nightlight, those killer fundamentals coming in to help prevent that save from coming through. The Lithe going to be buying Acid some distance, running all the way to the other side of the map. It's going to be a fast fall. I thought the aura reading came in so clutch. Nightlight saw the double vault happening, and Acid is now going to be dead.
Yeah, but there's 1 gen remaining. I think that Zafish, Kenzie, and Jar, they have the opportunity to just bully this out. Like, there's nothing that will stop them from doing that. Except for Nightlight teleporting. Yeah, he can do that, can't he? It's a similar thing about how risky, as you were saying, is to heal now against Freddy, because that's something that can be pretty easily interrupted.
We have both
as well.
injured survivors here.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Wait, can Nightlight just win the game right now? I mean, like, the survivors have opportunity here to get out. Like, this is a strong palette to work with, and Nightlight is going to be hitting the voices in his head, apparently. But, like, you can, okay, I think the survivors have been able to split up just about. But now Kenshi is firmly in Nightlight's crosshairs. You're able to dodge the snare, but even sometimes just the act of having to get out the way of the snare, it just messes up your pathing so much, your ability to, you know, get to the pallet or window in as little time as possible, and you just get hit for it.
Yeah, it looks like we're being brought all the way over here. I believe this is a 3-gen. I'm not 100% sure. We've been moving very fast so far, and it's a little difficult to tell with all the white auras. But that was a pain resonance hook here, and yes, this is a 3-gen. Oh, lovely.
Yeah, there's so many things happening in this. I think this is what I'm learning about new Freddy. Old Freddy was, like, annoying because he just wasn't very good, and in that sense not particularly entertaining. New Freddy, everything is happening all at the same time. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, there's just so much going on. The snares, the pallets being placed, the teleportation, and the pallets being ruptured. And speaking of a different kind of rupture, eruption going off, and oh no, this again, both injured survivors being caught out. This Seraph not positioning too terribly well, and
you have to be careful here if you're Jar, right? Because now you're injured. Is there an opportunity for Mathis to pick Kenshi, maybe? Not when they're right nearby, and you know that's the case. So now it's not just 2 injured survivors one side of the map. It's the down and the 2 injured survivors, and they are hovering like vultures. Ostensibly not to, you know, put the killing blow into Kenshi, but to pick him up instead. They're nice vultures today, I guess. Nightlight is going to be the one picking him up instead.
And he's a mean vulture.
He's like a vulture who actually does what a vulture is meant to do, which is like, just... I mean, actually vultures don't kill people, but, you know, they eat them, I guess. The dead people. That doesn't sound right, and I'm... That doesn't sound right, and I'm yapping, and I apologize. So let's get back to this game again. This is a disastrous 3-gen. It's really tough to work with. And also, like, you have no safety, because now you just have, like, fake pallet after fake pallet. This is your one decent drop pallet, and Nightlight just plays around it perfectly. The confidence from this killer to turn the corner. You get a neat little aura read onto Jar as well, and so you try and preempt the teleport, and you're going to do it. Zaphs is on the ground, Jar is nowhere. This is a 4K1 for certain.
I'm getting a little dizzy with all the head movement from Nightlight. But yeah, this has been, I want to say chaotic, but I don't know if that's like the match, like the game itself, or just how Freddy is played nowadays, having to manage so much stuff, everyone's sleep, all your powers, when to use each, the aura reading.
Oh, great snare.
Yeah, Jaw just stops moving, knows it's over. Kenshi dead on hook, and Jaw's gonna be thrown on a hook into the basement. And yeah, like you said, it's gonna be a 4K1.
Yeah. So really strong play coming out from Nightlight. 4K1 here. It is becoming abundantly clear that you need to have eyes and ears everywhere as new Freddy. And I like it, because again, I haven't seen new Freddy in a competitive environment before. Looks to be quite formidable. Coal Tower kind of seems like a perfect map to show him off, because it's just so, like, standard, right? There's opportunity to use the pallets. The pallets didn't get a lot of direct value this match, but I don't think that's what they're really there to do, right? That they are there to be kind of mind-gamey, in a sense, to throw the survivors off.
They're zoning tools.
Yeah, they're zoning tools. They're more so, like, fun things to catch out, like, solo queue survivors who, like, don't know power as well, being like, wait, why is this pallet exploded on me? No. On this, it's more just like, you put them up for Nightlight because you lose nothing by putting them up. and they make life a bit harder for the survivors. It gives them more to manage. But yeah, really strong play coming out from Nightlight here. 4K1. I know I said this was drawable last time, but I also think it's drawable this time as well, right? I think whether there are outs, there's very little kind of game tape to work with, because New Freddy hasn't been out for that long. However, I think if I were to estimate, I'd say a 4K is like possible on Freddy, but not the easiest thing in the world. Like a 50-50 chance of 4K or outs, you know what I mean?
Compared to the Cenobite's like 1/3 chance of escaping.
Yeah, compared to the Cenobite, where like 4Ks are more often than not, here I think it's about 50-50. That could just be my theory completely, because I've just made that off the top of my head. And actually looking at the stats,
it was however long it was. But we have Kenshi playing the Freddy for Seraph against the survivors of Invictus, Dan, Spitz, Pedro, and Kexo. And I don't have a whole lot of material to talk about right this second.
Well, the build is the same, so it seems to be figured out. Sloppy Butcher, because you're an M1 killer who is pretty good at spreading out your pressure and getting a lot of hits on a lot of different survivors. So that makes a lot of sense. And then the rest of them are just strong, standard tools. It's the golden trio. It's Pain Resonance, Eruption, and Corrupt. I think the only real variance is like, do you run Sloppy Butcher or do you run Pop Goes the Weasel? That's the main difference. But like, I see the vision for both of them, and I very much understand why Sloppy Butcher is favored here. Dan doing a good job of recognizing which one's the real pallet, because sneakily enough, there has been another pallet placed at that window. But when you've played the game as long as this one, you know like where pallets can and can't spawn. Turns out it's the purple add-on, which means whenever you see the killer instinct after a teleport onto a survivor, that's what that purple add-on is doing for you. So that's explaining that. And Kenshi's able to get a nice hit onto Kexo. Playing around main building means I assume that, yeah, you have the balance landing in play, so you're able to make a lot more distance. Zone away with that pallet, because what else are you going to do with it? Force Kenshi further and further into this map. Try and aim your snare very sneakily, but you're not going to be able to do it as well as you would like to. Now you're able to chain this into Shack, and yeah, survivors are doing a really strong job right now of just outlasting In and Chase. Corrupt is going to go down, and you've not been able to get it down yet if you're Kenshi, which is far from ideal. That being said, you are still zoning Kexo pretty decently.
Yeah, and the pallet gets dropped. We have the mind game. It seems Kexo does win the 50-50 this time. Does he win it again? Managed to win the mind game. Gets a lot of distance over to this loop. We do have the fake pallet here, so it is going to have to. There's going to be a little bit of care into that loop, like we were just talking about. But the body block is here. Or at least I thought I saw someone coming in for the body block. I could be wrong about that.
There he goes.
And yeah, Kexo goes down. 2 generators completed. And there's the pickup.
233 there. So that's a 233 is good. I'm trying to check. The last down came in at 215. So this is actually a slower down, but it's not. Honestly, it's not just a case of like, okay, the down was a bit quicker here, but I just feel like these survivors from the Invictus side have done more in their time, right? And we saw that when we saw the survivors from Seraph, they were getting all kinds of pressured out by Nightlight. They were on the back foot, their chases weren't in great areas, and they were all kind of running around like headless chickens. In this case, even though Kexo eventually goes down, it's all on a corner of the map where no one really is, and some good discipline here. Pedro's going to come for the body block. I think you have to be a bit careful body blocking around some of these dream pallets. The ability to just blow them up and get multiple survivors at the same time is going to be a bit horrific there. But yeah. Kexo is still definitely your main target here. Does Pedro just give his life for this? I guess so. Yes. Kexo is the tunnel out, so yeah, you would do that. But now someone has to come down to help pick up Pedro.
Yeah, someone has to come pick up Pedro. Maybe someone to help Kexo, but no. Too little, too late. I don't think they're going to go for the pickup onto Pedro. Yeah, we have Spitz with the alarm clock Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Kexo back on the hook. Pedro still on the ground, not being picked up. And this is going to be Dan getting caught out, working on this generator.
Did you
Should be
hear the
taking a hit
progress
for
on that
this.
gen? Did you hear the progress on
It
that
was
gen, though?
so progressed. Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, that's insane work. These survivors are being so efficient right now that they are embracing the chaos that is Freddy. And Dan ends up eating a hit. That's kind of the cue for Freddy to return back to this corner of the map where you've got your prized possessions, your hooked and down survivors. Dan's able to complete that gen. Draw is in the bag now. And looking at how they're doing, no survivors are dead yet. I think it's pretty certain that they're going to complete this last generator and get some out.
That may be the case, but all survivors are injured. This could also fall apart very quickly.
That's true.
It's a very precarious situation, especially with that updated teleportation. Spitz is asleep. If anyone tries healing him, we could see the teleportation. We do have 2 survivors here as well. And we have the body blocks coming in, but Pedro going down once more.
Pedro is like, please take me. Don't hurt my love, my darling on the other side. And now, actually, this is some really good timing because they call the pickup onto Pedro. They know they have a safe window of opportunity to heal Spitz where the teleport isn't going to come through to interrupt it. It's a small thing, but it's, you know, niche little timings like that which are going to be massively beneficial for these survivors. And now Spitz, your tunnel out, is the healthy one. So instead you have to go for Dan, who you could go down here reasonably soon. You're able to get to this standard gym pallet over here. Get yourself over to an Ormond tile 2. So I thought Dan was going down immediately, but no, you can just juice for ages and ages. I could feel the hairs on Dan's neck get sliced by that claw. I could feel it from here.
It was just a nice, gentle scratch on the back.
Yes.
But we do have Kenshi checking this main building. Kexo dropping down with the balanced landing. Gonna get a lot of distance off of that. Does give up the pallet for free, though, so Kenshi will be able to make this a dream pallet, make it explode later on. And I think there's like this pallet here is safe, and that is literally all that there is to it. This whole area is just dream pallets, and Kexo could get a little bit zoned here if he's not careful. We are not going to see the pallet break just yet. Kenshi opting to just loop around, try and get the bloodlust. Or
He's
no, just going
to so much time. But buying more than enough time, goodness me. Okay, well,
yeah,
that doesn't even matter. You got your 5 generators, and that's going to be Invictus tying up this series 1-1. Good job to him. I mean, it's as I said earlier. It wasn't just about the fact that the timing of the first down, but it's also that these survivors were so disciplined in where they took their chases. Sure, the first down was 20 seconds later, and every second does count, but in the grand scheme of things, that's not that much of a time difference. It's more so how the survivors were using that time, how they were dragging Kenshi to the corner of the map, how they were continuing to pressure out gens on the other side. It's not just about how long you last in that first chase, but it's also about, you know, what the rest of your team is doing in that chase.
Yeah, and something I'd like to point out, just a difference in like playstyles that we saw between Kenshi and Nightlight. I was getting dizzy watching Nightlight at times with how much he was doing, and Kenshi just didn't have that same ferocity. Maybe still getting used to playing new Freddy on this level, but regardless, that is going to be a 4-out for Invictus, and an absolutely great performance tying up the match.
Welcome back, everyone, and if you're expecting something bright and cheerful, don't, because we have the darkest killer on the darkest map. It's the Dredge. How about Dredge? Surprisingly, because Dredge has so many things balanced in their favor, and Midwich is such a tough map for survivors and so good for the killer, Dredge is one of our most successful killers in DBDL, genuinely. And I think earlier it was Mathis from the Seraph team who was telling me a fun fact. and any comp player will say this, that if someone dies before the last gen is completed, if any survivor dies, they aren't completing the last gen. It's as simple as that. They're just not doing it. They're not getting any outs, and they never have done, right? So, Kenshi goes down very quickly. It feels like I didn't really use that pallet whatsoever. Most of the pallets that you get on Midwich are kind of just, like, not very good. They're, like, 50-50, like, could win them, couldn't win them pallets. There are a couple of, like, god pallets near the stairs, but aside from that, they're mostly pretty mediocre. And Kenshi already taking advantage of that with a very early down onto Kexo.
Yeah, I mean, talk about an early down. That was 57 seconds. You're not even getting half of your value out of the corrupt. Just teleporting around trying to find the next survivor. That first one was very fast, the second one not so much. Just lunging out the window trying to get one. Pallet dropped already, and we got the teleport around,
very sneaky,
but not fast enough to catch Kexo. And it's a bit unfortunate that you're Kexo, you're the one getting caught out. You are the tunnel target. That said, Kexo did have some really good chases in the last game, and this is going to be buying a lot of time for Invictus to be working on these generators.
Yeah, and you don't have great tools, but you might as well use the ones that you do have. You know where the god pallets are, and you used 2 of them. And you've used 2 of them. Why the hell not?
I mean, like you said, if someone dies before the last generator, you are not finishing the last generator. Although they are 2 generators closer to that target.
Yeah, like you might as well just like use those resources while you can. 2 generators completed, as you've said, looking pretty good. Nightfall is going to be charging up and up and up. And remember, not only is it going to charge faster off of injured survivors from that Malthinker's Skull Yellow add-on, but it's also going to be 20 seconds longer on account of the doll. And Kenshi perfectly just knows, has downloaded the survivors, knows exactly what generator they're working on, so it's going to be bullying it out, sending Kenshi on a run. Plus, there is passive regression coming through from Ruin, which is still up. Now, Kexo, you're the tunnel out, and you have to chase in pitch black against Kenshi on one of our best performing killers. You can see Nightlight is just sticking to this man like glue. Like, there is nothing that is worse than Kexo going down here. Because if that happens, you're screwed. You cannot recover from that. That's really good progress to get through onto the second gen, however. But now Nightlight has your hit taken. What I think... Kexo's going to go down to the completed gen. Kexo's going to go down to the completed gen so Dan can take the hit. And yeah, it is a disgusting totem spot, as you say. And then kind of forcing Kenshi to decide to relieve a bit of pressure. Dan is going to go down near this gen. So, pressure relieved, but it's not like Kenshi can't use the killer instinct to track down where Kexo might still be. Well, right there. How about that?
There's 1 generator left to do, though, and all the survivors are here. It looks like there's going to be a big reset coming in. Dan's going to get double healed, and I imagine they'll be sending more body blocks to help Kexo.
Ooh, nice stun.
Yeah, nice stun.
It's just time buying Kexo now. Like, you're dead. You're just trying to buy time.
Yeah.
There it is. Caught out. Yeah. It's always tricky against a Dredge. Nightfall is now done. But remember what we said earlier. Even if all these survivors are going to be healthy, Ruin is still up. Like, getting 4 generators out of the way is actually phenomenal. And this genuinely could be a win condition, like, for you. But you need to have the last one done. If it helps, Nightlight running Deja Vu is going to be beneficial here. Because everyone is going to... Not just the Deja Vu, but also the Visionary from Dan as well. So it's not like they're going to struggle to track down gens, which is often a pretty serious problem on this map. But now it's just going to be extremely difficult. I guess you need that extra kind of 5% from Deja Vu if you're Nightlight to bully this one out. And Kenshi... I mean, I guess you're just kind of zoning them away from the gen. Also, by staying in the locker for a little bit, you can charge that Nightfall a little quicker passively. So there's reasoning behind it, even if the reasoning is tenuous at best. Nice swing, nice miss. Nightlight juking that one very well. But now you have to, you know, get out of this tight spot that you're in. And I don't think you're going to be able to do it because, yeah, Dredge's power is built for these loops.
Absolutely, and that the Remnant mind games are amazing. We do have the bathroom over here. Looks like we're going to be going around the back way. Oh, this is a mind game right here. Right out of the locker.
And it worked! That's the
It did work!
And Dan runs into a wall!
No!
You make no
Oh, that is such a big mistake. That is a huge mistake. Oh my god.
It happens, literally, it happens to the best of us. Because earlier I was talking about, like, okay, do we have consideration for best player in the world? On the Survivor side, Dan might be up there as well. So when I say it happens to the best of us, Eileen, it literally happens to the best of us. Oh my god.
Oh, but it's happening again! Are we gonna... Okay, not quite another mind game. Kenshi didn't want to wait for the cooldown on the Remnant. And we're back at this generator. That exiting those lockers is so fast with the Nightfall. That generator had so much progress, though. All the survivors are injured now. And here they are.
There's a reason that...
Here they are.
Yeah. There's a reason that you don't, like, get the last gen done if you have 3 survivors left against a Dredge. It just doesn't happen. Like, I think that maybe if Ruin weren't in such a horrific spot, there's a chance. But let's be honest, it's not like these gens were particularly progressing well in the first place. Like, look, this should be illegal! Look at this! If you just found the 2 injured survivors...
oh no.
Spitz is down. That's a problem.
Spitz is down and Nightlight is zoned off. Can't really do anything here. But this generator has so much progress. This has so much progress. And Dan is still working on the other generator. This Invictus have a chance of breaking the curse. They might be the first ones to do it.
No, they don't. I love your
never
optimism.
mind.
I genuinely do. Oh, they pick up Spitz. They're going to delay their executions just a little bit more. And then I think Spitz is going to come pick up Nightlight too. But yeah, this is pretty curtains. This is like your last good palette on the map that you've used. So, bye, I guess. You can't mind game the bathroom again. This is very much over for Spies right now. But genuinely, I don't think that completing 4 generators is a bad result at all.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely a good result for Invictus here, and one that Seraph is going to have to really try to beat, or even just tie. But here we are, Nightfall, about to start once again.
Well, I checked the stats here. On average, you only complete 3 gens against a Dredge. So already Invictus have gone beyond the mold here. Are you going to get down? Yes, you just about are. You aren't completing the last one, no matter how hard you try to do so. Kenshi is just brutal with it. Like you get Nightfall, everyone's injured, so it charges up.
Kenshi literally just backed into him, didn't know he was there.
Kenji's like, yo, what's good? Just kills him. Oh, and he's here as well. And he found Spitz too. Okay, well that's everyone accounted for now. That is a bro, when you're pulling up the slow vault into the killer tech, you know that it is just curtains. So yeah, goodbye Spitz. Off to the Shadow Realm you go. And to Dan and to Nightlight as well. But yeah, So even though like it became very dominant at the end, note that Invictus survivors have still done above average. The issue is Seraph are playing like a more than above average team today. Like they are, I thought this would be one-sided, but not really.
The issue is that ruin spawn.
The ruin spawn was unfortunate as well. That too. And I actually wonder if Ruin's going to be run on the other side, like for Invictus. It should be, right? I don't see why they wouldn't. It is a good perk by all accounts on Dredge on this map. But yeah, sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. And now Kenji's just farming his points, and his clips, I guess. Sometimes you just got to clip farm in DBDLeague, and I respect it. I really do.
God, I miss the days way back when there was a clip from, I think, Season 3. And this was, like, right after, I don't even remember what the DLC is called, the one with Spirit and Adam. And someone stunned the killer and threw the pebble at the killer. So yeah, clip farming is absolutely a thing.
Yes, of course. Yeah, 12 here.
God, I really do sound like an old man sometimes.
Yeah,
Back in my day.
You hit him with the back in my day, what, 2022? What
do
you mean
that
your
would have been
day?
2018.
Oh, 2018. Oh, what was I doing in 2018? I was still eating crayons. Okay, good reminder. That happens to the best of us. So, Night Bit's going to be going down here. Tough time for them. No, that you can't self unhook. I think even if they did like successfully self unhook, they would be told to just sit there and go back on the hook again. It's a tough life for survivors in this world. It's like how do we explain, like, from a lore perspective, what comp DBD is? Like, the entity is like
I
giving,
don't even want to try to do that.
The entity is giving money to the killers and the survivors, but they can't. But that doesn't even work because they can't exactly spend money in the realm. What do they do? They're just like, "Hello, we'll give you prizes for."
And if you dig into like the old lore, they canonically cannot speak to each other.
Can they not speak to? Can they not speak around the campfire?
I think that lore has been retconned or just forgotten. I'll be honest, Dredge is a fun killer to watch.
Yeah.
Especially on this map.
But very map dependent. Hence why
it is very map dependent. But when you have a consistent map, and especially one that's mid-witch, it makes it Dead by Daylight feel like a horror game again.
Mm-hmm.
Like a shit your pants horror game. Sorry if I'm offending him with that language, but like, yeah.
So speaking of horror games, Zafs is going to get pressured out very early here. Surprisingly, it seems like there's some pressure split because Jar has also been identified as a possible suspect. And Sid. So Pedro's managed to bully out several survivors at once, then come through and get the hit onto Acid as well. So now Pedro knows, okay, I'm locking it in. This is who I'm going for. This is a unreal mind game, and I mean, it doesn't work to like wait. No, what? You can't do that, young man! I was about to say, there's no way in hell this mind game works! But he's simply goated! 56 seconds as well! Dude, just give Invictus the win. Just off the back of that. Right.
We do have Pop Goes the Weasel not ruined like you thought it was going to be. Put on that gen, and it's also afflicted with the eruption. Holy crap, that was a mind game of the century there.
He just stood there menacingly. He's just standing there. And it worked. Oh my lord. Okay, yeah. Now, I mean, okay, good play from Kenshi there. Having mastered the art of Dredge in the last matchup, ends up playing a little bit of their own. But you can only miss one hit against Pedro. You are contractually obliged to get the second hit in. I don't write Pedro's contract for Invictus. That's just how it works. He's going to hit you eventually. Unlucky. I'm interested to see if exactly. Pedro had no real way of knowing for certain where Acid was, but just got the TP to the correct place. Is going to find Acid in a sticky situation right now. I don't think there's any strong parts nearby. Yeah, this one is like it's good at best, mediocre at worst. And it's in Nightfall as well, so Pedro is definitely going to catch Acid here. Unless you're able to get to the bathroom, because this is a strong pallet. Oh no, Pedro's going to do the mind game again. He's just going to slowly walk around the entire map. And then
no, it's body blocked now.
Oh, get into a body block position as well. That's patience right there. But if you're Acid, this means just buying like every second imaginable. In the meantime, Zafs and Kenshi looks like they're going to be able to complete 2 more generators. if they have 2 gens remaining, that's still a loss for Seraph. If they have 1 remaining, that is a draw. Remember, DBDL sets are drawable now. Even if we get to the 4th, even if this one draws and we get to our 4th trial and that's a draw too, then both teams just get a point out of it.
Oh! Do we have a strike 3 from Ja? No, not quite. Pedro missing a few swings there. Pop going to be applied to this generator once again, and we're down to 2 generators.
Mm-hmm.
1 more generator gets completed, and that, like you said, is going to be the tie condition.
Acid is
being
so
met.
dead. Acid is so dead. Oh my god. Like Zaft is going to eat the hit. Is going to be injured and then contribute to the now reset Nightfall timer. But wait, where did Acid go? Where did you vanish to? Is Zaft still just following Acid?
Yeah, I think
that's
so.
exactly it. But now you're not really in a position to take the hit anymore. You try your best.
He's giving his life for the cause.
But that also applies Eruption to these gens, which is really tough. I think that Jan Kenshi doubling up, they can finish that 4th generator and draw out here. But Acid needs to last a little bit longer in this chase. And honestly, forcing that pallet break is decent because you've already applied the Eruption. So yeah, this gen is going to be completed, and I think that this is going to be a drawn set here. That's just my theory.
I mean, what do we want to call this? The dredge postulate, where if a survivor is dead before all gens are completed, no one's getting out.
I know what you mean. I think like
true.
I think Dredge's law. I like the sound of that.
Well, is it a law or is it a theory? Or
well,
like I said,
right now it's a law. It's never happened, not once. But like, it's like within the realm of possibility that it could happen one day, and when that happens, then it's like Dredge's law is broken. Also, you just found Kenshi, because Pedro's just in it for love of the game at this point. I don't even know how he does it. You have no palette over here, Kenshi, so just accept your fate, it seems. And now Pedro is going to use this Nightfall, and you go to the gen, and you directly get Killer Instinct on the survivors.
Oh, okay. A little bit of Assassin's Creed action there, dropping from the high ground to get the kill. Love to see it. And now it's all up to Ja, who, to his credit, is...
Oh, you found him! The corner of his feet were glowing as he got into that corner. That is unbelievable work, but it's work nonetheless. It's good, it's honest, and Pedro's being paid a fair day's wage for it. Yeah, there it is. That's a draw on Dredge. Both these teams definitely doing above average, breaking the mold, but when both of them break the mold at the same time, it doesn't really mean anything, because now no one has a mold, so there we are.
God, we're getting really philosophical here. Talking about, like, theories and laws in, philosophy.
I see. I understand you now.
I see, says the wise man.
If I'm the wise man, then there is no hope for us, King. No, I'm not very wise in my age, or youth, should I say? Depends on who you ask. To you, I'm young. To 99% of the esports.
You are 1 year younger than me. You are not young compared to me.
Just because my bones haven't broken down and I don't eat like 12 dementia pills every morning like you, okay?
For the last time, they're vitamins, not pills.
He's like coping about it. That's crazy work. Yeah, both of these dredges doing very well. I'm just thinking, like, was there a world in which either any of these killers could have prevented the 4th gem being completed, or the survivors could have done the 5th gem?
I think there is a world in which Invictus finishes that last gen, and it all comes down to the totem not spawning on that rare 3rd floor spawn. That's like so out of the way for anyone and anything.
Oh, because like you're not gonna check there as well, right? Because normally when you're traversing the map, like you're just going room by room, and you'll know where the totems are generally. But like here, it's not the same at all. Because, like, yeah, there is literally nothing on the 3rd floor for you. You have zero reason to be there. Kenshi right now is doing a very good Drax the Destroyer impression, standing so still that no one can see him. Just continuing to... Petro's just going to continue to use this killer instinct that you get via the teleportation to try and find where Kenshi is, because...
I don't even know where he is at this point.
People might be theorizing, okay, well, what if Kenshi, like, gets a hatch here? So the rules are that hatch only counts if every gen is completed. Every gen isn't completed, so even if Kenshi gets out, it's still considered like a 3 hook stages, 1 fresh hook onto Kenshi. Just for reference.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to add here. This has been... Dredge has been very... These 2 Dredge games have been very snowball-y, like, right from the get-go. I'm still a little, like, in awe of that mind game that started off this specific trial. Because that was something else. Just standing there menacingly.
Sometimes that's all a fella needs to do to win out in a world like this. Just look really annoyed at your opponent, and then they will walk into you. Like, really loud. Goodness gracious. I'm sorry, Portia. I wasn't familiar with your game. So, Nightlight, and here's the thing. I have seen Nightlight play this killer before. Is actually really formidable. Is a really good Houndmaster player. And that's what we're talking about. Don't drop the pallet. Because that's exactly what is going to happen. Yeah, and you wait that distance, you still get the deep wound off because you had that kind of mark from the Houndmaster's search function. Good stun here. That's the best case scenario that you can have. If you stun him up, you're able to make distance, and the dog isn't really a threat anymore. This is creative use of the search from Nightlight. You're actually utilizing the haste here to make distance through the pallet, and then eventually just walk through it entirely. That's by Houndmaster standard. Houndmaster's already a pretty competent killer. That's a very quick first down. That came through definitely at the sub-minute mark, the 43-second mark. Goodness gracious.
I think that's the fastest down we've had all day.
Just a quick thing. If you're wondering how we're getting all these timers, that is Toby, our staff member in the background, being the GOAT. Shout out you, Toby. You're cool as hell.
Okay, I'm being told it's not the fastest we've had all day, but I wasn't here earlier today for all of the matches. But we have another chase on to Sock My Socks, and we're just going to be going back across the map trying to patrol this unhook, ensure that no one's going for the save.
You can tell that Nightlight just has the muscle memory of this killer down, right? It is like very like almost quick twitch with it in a sense, where like you can send out the search, you can use that, and then get the cooldown back, send like the dog round the corner, and then you know exactly the speed and exactly the timing to go around the corner. However, this time it's going to be dodged out, actually. Not going to get bitten up by the dog, not going to get locked in place for a spell. Zaphis looks to be going to second stage, unless a last-minute pull is going to come in. Will it? I feel like Nightlight's created enough distance here that it feels like a missed opportunity. That's a real missed opportunity. Nightlight went pretty far away from that hook. It was very feasible for the unhook to come through.
That is true, but also the call was probably made that, oh, he's camping me, crank the gens.
But he just
that
wasn't.
makes sense. I really do like
not that hard, you know.
Yeah, I do like the I really do like using the search to just get all of that movement speed, and there's Jaw going down. I think we had a For the People play there. Zaphis is now full health, and a nice dodge from Zaphis to get into this main building. Going to be able to make the window, and does have the bounce landing. Could make a play using the upper story.
But you need to.
We do have another survivor here.
Yeah, they are really keen on protecting Zaphis here, holding at the door, but they're not able to push the dog off. So now it's going to be, you know, just 2 free hits that come out. As you say, bounce landing is going to be good here for Zaphis, and Jar is still on the floor right now. Is going to get picked up, but is still broken. This is some overwhelming pressure being applied, and a nice little flick to get Mathis into the killer's arms again. It's as the killer said, extra bones for you, dog. You did good today. I'll be honest. The Hound in the first Houndmaster sets of the day weren't that like, they weren't that good. They weren't being good boys as they should be. You know.
All this time we've been talking, I just noticed 3 generators have been completed already. Mathis is dead, however. And
yeah,
I'm not sure if we have a 3-gen yet. I'll be honest, I haven't been paying too terribly much to the generators. I've been focused more on the chases and the body blocks and all that stuff that's been coming through.
And the dog, who...
and the dog,
and I will
course.
continue to be mad about this, is a poodle, for some reason. Hey, look, the skin is cool and all. I'm just saying, you're trying to go into this realm, and you're trying to, brutally, put people on hooks, and you bring a poodle with you.
The slow vault, oh my god, the slow vault actually worked.
It did, but now Stop My Socks is zoned out into the corner, which, I mean, it's not the worst place to go down. It's away from the action, and in theory, it does allow time for both Jar and Acid to actually split on these generators. Ooh, there's an opportunity for 5 gens to get completed here. And what a surprise that would be for Nightlight.
Baby.
No, that was not pain res. There's also been, no Dragon's Grip value this game, at all. One of our sets earlier, one of our Hammer sets, was essentially decided early because of an unfortunate Dragon's Grip timing for the survivors, right? Nightlight finally going to be forced over here to give this gen a kick. Finally,
the Dragon's Grip, though, yeah, this is the first time it's being applied, so it does mean that it could get some unexpected value, like you said, happened earlier. Acid not quite taking the dog chase, and there's the Dragon's Grip being revealed to the survivors.
But onto an injured survivor, so it's kind of like, whatever, you know?
Yeah, fair enough.
It doesn't, yeah, I mean, you get the down here, and that's going to give eruption to that gen, but also I don't think you got far enough on the other side to bully out that generator. However, the search function, you send it to the gen beyond the hook, and you end up passing through the unhook while that happens, which is pretty good work from Nightlight. And this is going to buy even more time here. So you're going to be able to get Jar onto the hook. What stage is Jar on again? Let's see. Only the first stage. That is a fresh hook.
But that is also a pain resonance.
Yeah, that is a pain resonance. That's a very good point, as you say. Houndmaster so far has not been able to 4K whatsoever. But if you can get at least 8 hook stages a game, then you're looking at average. If you're looking at 9, then you've done pretty well for yourself. So if Jar can get, a couple of stages ticked over here, maybe camped out a little bit, that shouldn't be too bad. But it's going to be a bit harder to do because now
we have a 3-gen here.
And...
a very defendable 3-gen too. This could be the first Houndmaster 4K that we see this season.
Oh yeah, that's awful. Oh no. Oh god. Ugh. And you get the unhook as well, which is going to help you tremendously. So now you have 2 injures, a bad 3-gen, and a beautiful catch onto Jar, who is going to go right back onto that hook. I don't think Jar went to 2nd stage, so I still don't think this is a death hook yet, but it is another eruption proc.
And we do have progress on this generator. Survivors know that they need to switch up their strategy, give up the hill gen, and just work on this one all the way out. But Nightlight thinks there might be someone on this generator, and he is right. He's going to get caught out. He's injured, and it could be dangerous. Although does not want to chase, wants to prevent the unhook from happening. Acid was able to get the unhook before the dog was able to catch up to him. And
I mean, I can't say I can't say I fully agree with that play, but honestly, looking at the results, Acid wasn't really able to body block well enough for Jar. Maybe now I see the vision there. What they wanted to do was reset onto Jar, but yeah, now there's only 2 people left. We're gonna get our first Houndmaster 4K off the back of this absolutely horrific 3-gen. Stop My Socks is still injured. Oh, they're trying to double up this gen. Wait, what?
They got the gen.
Wait. This is not how we drew it up. But hang on. Stop My Socks is dead in the corner. Acid is in deep wound right now, so is still pretty vulnerable and needs to hide from this dog who is just hunting furiously as well. The 4K is possible here, but I genuinely don't know if it comes out or not. There's no unbreakable or anything like that on the field. You're getting closer and closer? You didn't see them!
We do have the hope though, and I think Nightlight is going to be heading back, caught onto the trail, using that trail to just go as fast as possible. And
they get the pickup, but this kind of shows where both of the survivors are now, right? Acid's going to go to the very, very corner of the map, and now it's My Sock's turn to hide, but I don't think this car's going to do it for you, unless it is. No way. No, they found him! There's the 4K. Hey, look.
Nightlight saw the blood on the ground.
Seraph tried so hard for that, right? They really did. We're just waiting for.
And here's the pallet standoff.
Yeah, there it is. It's not even a pallet standoff; it's just a standoff at this point. Just two people staring at each other from across the way and having some fun. But yeah, so I mean, if anyone was going to do it, let's be honest, it was going to be Nightlight. But still, a congratulations is in order to Nightlight, who will get off.
Do you think we can get a wiggle off?
No. Oh wait, hang on.
I think there's a chance.
Oh no. This Cenobite main building is just near enough. Yeah. That would have been content. Imagine being denied the first Houndmaster 4K because they wiggled away. So, that's crazy. But yeah.
I'm just impressed by the fact that Seraph getting that last generator, all hope seemed lost there, and it did kind of cost them the 4K, but that was probably going to happen regardless. So them getting all 5 generators, you know, I don't know if to say that's a good thing given how Houndmaster normally does.
Pet the dog.
But
Pet the dog, Nightlight. Do it. Pet the dog. Pet the dog.
Pet the dog. Pet the dog. Pet the dog. I'm gonna go in his DMs and yell at him for not petting the dog.
Bottom 1 player of all time. Oh my god. Okay. Well, I'm mad about that one. Anyway. Moving swiftly.
And with all of that said, we are in Certify, coming back on the killer to play the Houndmaster against Dan, Spitz, Kexo, and Pedro for Invictus. And already, I think we spotted 3 survivors, but currently chasing 1. And
that's the other end of the standoff. Now, even though Certify gets a really lovely hit through, regardless, that's the other end.
I wasn't sure if that pad, like Dan ran right in front of Certify at the window there. Sorry to cut you off, and there's both sides of the standoff right in one chase. Again, sorry for cutting you off there.
Yeah, that's. I'll find it in my heart of hearts to forgive you, darling. You shoot off the dog too early, and it just gets the pallet dropped on its face. You vault against the dog too early, and you just explode, like, imminently. That's a really early first hook onto Dan, I should say.
36 seconds.
Oh my god, yeah, that's insane work. How much was it? 43 seconds last time. Okay, they're not that far apart.
I think that chase has to be up there with one of the fastest chases, or fastest first down times in DBDL history. And there's Certify again losing that pallet standoff. I could see this potentially being an issue if Certify isn't able to start winning these more consistently. It hasn't been an issue so far, but it could absolutely be an issue soon.
Well,
and they get the heal off.
It's a really fast heal. My god.
Nice.
I can only assume that's we'll make it or something along those lines. Yeah. I mean, sorry, I've lost my train of thought briefly. So
it's fine. A new one will pull into the station. You'll have another one.
I only have a finite amount of thoughts in my brain. You see, but it was a really quick heal, so I can only assume that it was wheel make or something. It's all about the tunnel out, and yeah, you got a really quick first down onto Dan. But like, where's Dan now? Probably being reset in the corner somewhere. If we're being completely honest.
No, he's right there.
Oh, hello, Dan. Nice to see you. I mean, if you're certified, you are salivating at this. Like, oh my god, my timelight's right here. That's crazy. I am
Oh, that's
surprised
unlucky.
that...
Dog got
yeah.
stuck.
Yeah. The idea is that the dog will wrap around the objects, but the terrain is uneven, and so sometimes it just doesn't quite work out that way.
Ooh,
Dan
that's a
dodges
nice
that
juke.
somehow, but I don't think you... no, you're barely able to get to that pallet. That's 2 generators now completed. With a second hook onto Dan.
Make it 3.
Okay, yeah, okay. Invictus have won this. I think
We do
if it
still
was
have a
2
3 gen
gens-
towards the back part of the map, so there is still a chance.
Mhm.
But then again, this is Invictus we're talking about. They have a really good teamwork and can probably crack this.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I'm gonna see if Spitz, the injured survivor, is the one that gets found here with Hound, which is not ideal. And it's actually Kexo who's able to come in for the unhook onto Dan, who's going to take a hit, and Certified just kind of gets out of the way. Like, okay, I know that you want to body block really hard for him. I'm not going to let you do that. Now you get the down onto Kexo, but you don't like relent with your pressure onto Dan, who is just about able to dodge out onto the dog. I wonder how many more resources you have around this main building to work with. I feel like quite a few of these pallets have been dropped. You're able to... What? No way you're able to get that grab! Oh my god. And Kexo's still on the floor. Like, Kexo hasn't really been able to get away here. That's a really early kill. Oh my god.
Yes, it is, and Kexo is going to be a pain resonance stack here being used. But you know these survivors are going to be cranking a gen on the other side of the map. You know that's going to be what they're doing. And you just got to hope that this happens. There's the scream. They were absolutely committing to that one. They were so close, because that's the only reason you commit to that. And look at that! Now, luckily, we do still have the... Certified does still have the pop to manage to get even more regression on this. And maybe still catch Pedro. Spitz is also injured, so the pressure is actually in favor of Certified right now. We do have the unhook coming through, and this is going to be the down onto Pedro with that massive speed boost, and Kexo can now also be hit for the chase. Spitz does manage to finish a generator in the meantime. Kexo just trying to make it to this main building. There's not a whole lot here. You do have the window. Fakes it. Going to be going upstairs. Maybe trying to get a bounce landing. No, just trying to buy as much time as possible. Spitz going to be going for the pickup onto Pedro. And that's exactly what happens.
But you find
this game is on the tip of a needle for either side.
I genuinely think Seraph win here. I don't think the last generator can be completed. I just look at this pressure. It is insurmountable. It is overwhelming. Dan going down, like, in the manner that he did, it threw such a wrench into the plans of Invictus. They were just not expecting it at all. That being said, Kexo has been picked up now, so you still have a moment to work with here. What can you even do? Spitz and Kexo maybe reset, and Pedro comes down. Maybe you just play for a tie here, and get, like, to bullying out the final generator. Certified
not
just
for the pickup just yet.
Yeah, Certified really wants to keep this pressure up.
Oh, but both survivors were up here. That's that game sense coming in that I clearly don't have. Certified, knowing where these survivors are, able to just pressure them away, making them not able to fully reset. Pedro does get picked up in the meantime, but that's fine. Certified wants to chase closer to these other generators, get Spitz.
Oh, barely dodges out there. Spitz is... I mean, sometimes a fella just does it like that. That being said, kicking this pallet does zone Spitz a little bit, able to get to another one just about. Not really on the side of it that you want to be playing, but it's there anyway. And I think Certified's made just enough distance off of the... No, never mind. Actually hasn't made enough distance off of that. Now Kexo and Pedro are both healthy. Certified has to drop chase. The pendulum swung again.
Yeah, just had to drop chase, go check on the generator, and now he's coming back here. This is Kexo being spotted once again, trying to come in for the reset onto Spitz. And once again, the dog gets no value here with that chase action.
Kexo and Pedro are healthy. I think they could just be bullying a gen on the other side of the map, and Certify recognizes this now and is going to send the Hound over to him. Remember, I'm just listening in on this. Remember how that gen was like 99% earlier?
Yeah,
when Certify...
there's nothing on it. There's nothing on it now.
Brutal. But maybe it's like a playing with expectations thing from the survivors. They think, well, Certify thinks we'll be working on this one because it's the one we were on before, but actually, we're just going to...
They're going to be on that generator by the main building now.
Yeah, you are completely
Wherever
correct
Certify is, like, these two gens are split across the entire map. Wherever Certify is, they aren't. And this is Spitz going to be getting chased.
And this tells
to buy as much
and this
time
tells
as
me that
possible.
Kexo and Pedro are basically done with the final gen. That like, there's no reason that you run into the basement stuff. Kexo's here. Is Pedro? Surely Pedro's
trying to
last.
deny the pain res. He's trying to deny the pain res.
Okay, and you have
there it is.
adrenaline as well. That would do it. So, okay, so you still need outs here to win, or else it's a
But
draw.
it's all the way across the map. I don't know that Certify can make it.
Yeah, but Pedro can just leave. Certify just doesn't have enough distance, and Pedro can leave here. There was a moment here where we thought that Seraph would upset, possibly the #1 team in this tournament. But that is not going to be a reality we live in today. It's hard fought. It took a long while to get here, and a lot of effort from both of these sides. But congratulations, Invictus. You get to hold on to your crown for a little bit longer. You get your escapes. But wow, Seraph, I think you exceeded all our expectations today.
Yeah, I absolutely. But the one thing that sets Invictus above the rest is their ability to clutch up in those high pressure, generally speaking, losing situations. We saw it earlier on the Cenobite set to start off this match, and to end it off here. It was just not looking good. Yet Invictus was able to claw their way back, taking the victory here in this set and this match.